when you have your head screwed on correctly, please feel free to come back. New York Rat, are you a Christian? If so, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 25.
25. All right. If I create a robot and I give it choices, but I know that it will harm people, am I responsible?
When you say robot, is this like a mechanical robot?
Sure.
Okay.
The ro- the type of does the type of robot change my responsibility?
Maybe. I mean, I guess it
Why?
depends, but might be like a vacuum robot.
Okay.
I don't
Why
know
does that change my responsibility?
because when you say harm people, I don't know if you mean like verbally harm, physically harm, like
Let's say it physically harms people.
okay, and you know that the robot's gonna physically harm somebody.
hmm I know that it's gonna. I give
Okay,
it the choice
then
not to, but I know that it will.
okay. I mean, in this scenario, yeah,
Why?
most definitely, because you're not God.
Okay. Why does that mean that I'm responsible for it?
Because you know it's gonna harm people.
Okay. So because I know it's going to harm people, that's what makes me responsible.
Yeah, because you know that this robot that you created will harm people.
Okay. All right. So God, he creates human beings that he gives choices to, right? And yet
God created every.
he knows that we're going to sin leading to great amounts of harm. Is God responsible?
Is God responsible for our sins?
Well, is God responsible for all of the sin, for creating sin on the earth?
In a sense, I mean, He did give us free will.
Sure. My robot has free will, and yet you said that I was responsible because I knew that it was going to harm people. So the same thing would be true for God, right?
I mean, you're saying that God's responsible for people harming other people.
hmm
I mean, if you want to put it in a way, it's like because God gave us free will, and you want to say, "Oh, God gave me free will to
But
harm
that's
this
not all.
person."
That's not what made me responsible for my robot. Like again, you said I'm responsible because I knew it was going to harm people. Does God know what we're going to do?
Yeah,
Okay. So then he's
but
responsible because he knows what people are going to do to one another.
you can't put it like that though. You just gonna say, "Oh, because this person got hurt harmed by this person. That was God did it. He's responsible." Like it
Well,
just doesn't work like that.
ultimately he is. But I think this is where you're getting tripped up on. Let's go back to my robot for just a moment. If I'm, let's say I create this robot, I give it choices, I know that it's going to hurt people, but what the harm that it does is it's going to like drop kick little old ladies and punt them across a football field. Okay, it's just going to grab little old ladies, any little old lady that it sees, and it's just going to punt them. Okay.
Okay.
Now I've created this like punting grandma machine that I knew is going to do this thing. And I created it and I set it out into the world anyways. What do you think should happen to this grandma punting robot?
I think it shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it should be destroyed, maybe
I just
disabled.
nah. You probably just shouldn't even like if you. I mean, if was that your intention was
Well,
to make a
don't.
robot?
You're not answering my question. I'm not. We can talk about intention in a second, but I'm
Okay.
asking you that if I create this thing anyways, right? I know what it's going to do and the harm it's going to commit, and I put it out into the world. It's kicking little old ladies. What should happen to
Okay.
this thing?
If that was the sole purpose, then no, you shouldn't have made it. If that was the sole purpose, you made the
Let's
robot.
say for every 10 little old ladies that it helps, it punts one.
Okay.
What should happen to it?
So it helps, but it doesn't help at the same time.
Sure.
then I still don't think you should make the robot.
That wasn't my question though. What should happen to this
Oh,
robot?
what she? Oh, so you already made it at this point. There's
Hmm.
no. Okay. Um, I think this robot should be locked up in a
Yeah,
prison.
it should
Yeah.
be prevented from doing the harm, right?
Put it in a robot prison. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I think the reason why is because we see some responsibility in the robot, right? We see that it was the cause of this action. But what should happen to me if I'm out there creating robots that punt little old ladies?
Okay. And you're human when you made this, right? Or are
Yeah, I'm
you?
me. Hmm.
Okay, you're human. Okay, so if that's the case, and we found a board agnostics over here making robots that harm people,
Hmm.
they'll probably lock you up too.
Yeah. Do you think they should?
If you made these robots to hurt people, then yeah, yeah.
Well, I didn't make them to harm people. I just knew that they would, and I created them anyways. Do you think that I should be locked up, or should I be free to continue to make robots?
Um, if the robots you have made, made a great impact on society, and they
I
gave you
already
like a
told you
Nobel,
what they do. For
they
every
help
10
people, right?
little old ladies that they help, they punt one across a football field.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking realistically here. They'd probably say, hey, let's reprogram the robot so it doesn't hurt people.
That's
I
not
think
my
that's what
question, right?
you said. What should happen to you?
Yeah. So I'm not reprogramming my robot. I mean, sure, I can later, but I'm not going to right now. The question is, what should happen to me, the creator, who's making all of these drop kicking robots?
Okay. Like I
Should
said,
should I be free to continue making my robots?
I'm well. That's why I'm depend. Listen, listen. If these robots made a big impact on society and you won the
I'll tell you
Nobel
this.
Peace Prize,
I'll tell you this. Um, Segways, for instance, right? You know what a Segway is?
yeah, like mall call.
Yeah, right. So Segways used to be really, really big. Okay, they used to be really popular before like all of these like bicycle things started coming to like metropolitan cities and like scooters and shit. Right? They were like OG, right? Like early 2000s Segways.
Yeah.
Well, Segways were killing people because people would fall off of them, and the Segways would be stuck on top of them, right? In fact, I think it was the owner that fell off of a Segway into like a pond or something and drowned, right? So incredibly dangerous.
Okay.
Okay. So the reason now, obviously, we see these Segways, this model of Segway is dangerous. And so we remove these Segways from the market, right? We don't want to sell something to someone that's dangerous. So we see responsibility directly with the product that's being made. But we also go to Segway and they got lost. They got lawsuits, right?
Mm.
Because we
Mhm.
find responsibility as well with the one that created it, right? And we say, Segway, you can no longer make this thing that's hurting people. Even though it helps people get to and fro and it's revolutionary technology, right? You
Yeah.
should not be allowed to just create something that hurts people. Do you agree with that?
Um. No,
Why?
because I think that the people riding the Segway, maybe they're being careless. And I'm glad you said
Uh huh.
Segway because
Yeah,
I'm
you.
thinking.
I don't think you were listening to what I said.
My bad. I'm sorry. Can
Right?
you?
People are falling off of these segways.
And
The
it's landing on
segways,
top
the
of them.
segways would fall on top of them, would roll over them, and they would be
Mm-hmm.
stuck. Right? And
Uh-huh.
people died as a result of this.
Yeah.
Right? It was the fault of the segway. And so if we go to the segway makers, right, and we say, "Hey, you guys need to stop making a product that's so dangerous." Do you agree with that?
No,
Why?
because the people that fell off the Segway, were they riding carelessly or what? Or is this just like the
It
Segway just
I told you, right?
they fall
Like
off the
sure,
Segway?
some people can be riding carelessly,
Yeah.
but even if you're not riding carelessly, you can still fall off, right?
Okay.
So you can still fall off and die because the Segway is going to trample over you and pin you down where you're at.
All right. Like there's no safety mechanism on there. Okay.
It well, sure. Okay.
All
It
right.
is an inevitability that these Segways are going to hurt people.
All right.
Right. Let's say they go to your house. There's just rampant Segway and it goes to your house and it murders your whole family.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you go to the Segway manufacturers and say, hey, you guys made a product that's hurting people?
Yeah. I saw him.
Yeah, you'd sue them because you'd find some responsibility with the Segway. I don't know why that was like genuinely, bro. You know that you
My
were being
bad. Nah.
dumb right there, right? Like,
Nah.
come on, bro.
I was just. Well, I'm just trying to
I had to bring
understand.
up the murder of your family for you to see who's responsible for killing people. That's bro, that's dumb. I'm just letting you know. Okay. I
Nah,
think that you're being honest and you're trying to have a genuine
of course.
conversation. But I really want you to like, brother,
No, I got you. Hey,
come on.
no, I'm a bit,
Okay.
I'm a bit slow, so I appreciate you, bringing
You
up
ain't
this
slow.
information.
You're intentionally trying to wiggle out of a difficult conversation.
No,
But
I just,
you don't have to wiggle out. You can
I
just
know,
have the conversation, right?
but when you break it down to me in that way, it helps me understand
Okay,
more.
so now we'll talk about things that murder your family, I guess. That's the only way for you to understand, okay? So if I create a robot and I give it choices and yet I know that it will harm people, I know that it's going to help your neighbors, but it's going to murder your entire family. Am I responsible?
Nah, yeah, you're responsible.
Yeah, what should happen to this robot?
What should happen to you? I'm okay.
Well,
One, this
the
robot should be this
destroyed,
robot
right?
in prison, destroyed, or whatever. Yeah,
Sure.
get
Yeah.
away.
What should happen to me? Should I be allowed to
Dude,
continue making robots that just massacre people's families?
I I don't think you should make robots that massacre people's families. No.
Yeah, okay. Because you've also found responsibility in me. Now, this is a long ass conversation here to get to the point that God, obviously, mankind is responsible for the choices that we make, right? We find responsibility in the creation itself, right?
Hmm.
In mankind. But two things can be true because we are responsible and God is responsible.
So you're
Okay?
saying God is responsible because he made mankind with
Because he
he
made
made,
mankind and he knew what we were going to do. In
he
fact,
gave mankind
God,
free will.
sure, he gave us free will. But the point that I'm trying to convey is that even though we are responsible, I'm not negating that, right? So is God. But I'm more
Mhm.
concerned with the fact that God is responsible because that's not the thing that Christians like to acknowledge, right? So uh, I'll I'll go back to the analogy with God for a moment, okay?
All right.
If so, God creates human beings. He gives us choices, but he knows that we're going to hurt people. Let's say Jeffrey Dahmer or somebody, right? Schindler, right? He massacred a whole bunch of people's families, obviously, right?
Okay.
So God created Schindler. He gave Schindler choices, and yet he knew that he was going to massacre millions of people. Is God
Okay.
responsible?
Is God responsible for his actions? No, but if you want to say I could tell you that God's responsible for creating mankind and giving us free
Am I
will.
responsible for my robot that massacred your family?
Are you responsible? Oh, see, this is the
I'll
thing.
tell
You're
you,
putting
you literally already said yes,
I
right?
know, but you're putting yourself in God's position. Like if I don't
Mm-hmm.
see that's the difference is that, God's position is different from mankind. So,
Sure.
you want to use robots,
Mhm. So
The
he
question,
could have a higher status than me, and yet these things are still true that God creates, and He knows what He's going to create and what it's going to do, and He creates it anyways. And if those are the same factors that we use to determine responsibility here, then those are the same factors that we can use to determine responsibility with God.
I see what you're saying, but I think we're kind of confused because the responsibilities, is very. It's like I said, like he gave us free will.
Mm-hmm. Does does the free will of my robot change my responsibility at all for creating it anyways?
Can you say that question again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, so I'm giving my robot free will, right? By giving it choices.
Okay.
But giving my robot choices and free will, does that change my responsibility?
No, because you still created the robot.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Exactly.
so even though I gave my robot free will, I'm still responsible for creating a robot that slaughtered your whole family.
Yes.
So likewise, God, even though he gave mankind free will, is still responsible for creating Hitler who massacred millions of people.
But yeah, I mean, you you're taking one action from one person,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying, and you're making it seem like as if God made him do that.
Sure. Yeah. I just want to be clear. I
Okay,
don't
can
believe
I
that
ask?
I don't believe that God is only responsible for the bad actions, right? Like
Can I
if
ask
this
you a
is
question?
yeah, let me
Can I
just
just
respond to what you said real quick and then you can ask
All
whatever
right.
you want.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Um if God is responsible for the actions of Schindler, then he's also responsible for someone like, I don't know, eh, your mom for taking care of you, right? And he's responsible for like, my wife and all of her decisions. He's
Okay.
responsible for me and all of my good decisions and bad decisions, right? He's responsible for everything because he created everything and he knew exactly what would happen.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
My question was gonna be the actions that you know,
My wife. Hmm.
what's his name? I don't know if I could say it on here,
I just
Hitler
call him
or whatever.
Shitler, but go ahead.
Hitler. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that guy here, Hitler. So would you say that?
Why would you just say Hitler then? What the hell?
I mean,
I just told
well,
you
I
what to
don't know.
say and then you just said the other thing. Go
Hitler
ahead.
is better. Is that even better? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Whatever.
know if you're allowed to say his actual name on here. That's why. But it's okay. I know who you're talking about. Go ahead.
All right. So yeah. So this dude, right? This leader at a time. Um, do you think God was made him do the actions that he did, or do
Yeah.
you? Okay, so actually, you're agnostic. So do you believe that God gave people free will, or is that completely different? Like,
Can can I walk you through what I believe? Or do you
yes,
just want me
please.
to tell you
No,
straight
no.
up?
I would like you to walk me through just so I could
Okay.
understand the conversation.
Okay.
Because
So if my robot has these choices, right? And yet I know that it's going to hurt people, does it have a choice to do anything other than that?
these, you gave this robot free choices, but you know it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Can it do anything else
Mm-hmm.
besides hurt people? It can. I mean, it can do whatever it wants, whatever it wills. I guess
But will it hurt people?
if it wants to.
Okay, but will it?
Will it? If that's what I'm saying.
Here.
If the robot wants to.
Okay, so my knowledge is that oops, is that it will hurt people, right? My robot will hurt people.
Wait, no, no. I
When
think you
it's
got my question confused.
I know we're talking about free will, right? We
Okay.
are, we are. We just have to take it step by step, okay? I promise I haven't lost sight of your question. So, if I have knowledge that my robot will hurt people, right? When it's faced with the decision of hurting people or helping people, which one will it do?
It can do both, I guess, right?
Okay, let's say that it doesn't hurt people. Well, is my knowledge correct?
Um, you know what? I would say will to can. It can hurt people
Nope.
if it
I'm not
is.
talking about can. My knowledge is that it will. I'm not I don't have I can have knowledge of possibilities, right? I know that my robot can help people and it can hurt people, but I
Uh-huh.
ultimately know what it will do.
Okay.
So if I know that it will hurt people, right? When it's faced with this decision to hurt people or not to hurt people, which one will it do?
I guess in this scenario that you're bringing up, it'll hurt people.
It will hurt people, right? Now let's say that this is my knowledge still, right? My knowledge is that it will hurt people. But let's say that my robot helps people. Good night, Hannah. Was
Good
my
night, Hannah.
knowledge correct if my robot helps people?
If it helps people, but it will also hurt people.
No. Okay, so if this is my knowledge that it will hurt people
Okay.
and my robot helps people, was my knowledge correct?
Oh, in that case, no, it wouldn't be correct.
No. Okay. Knowledge is wrong if robot helps. Okay. Now, my robot has a choice of which thing it's going to do, right?
Okay.
But let's say that my knowledge is perfect. So I'm going to put a P here because my knowledge is perfect, okay?
Okay.
Now, if my knowledge is perfect and I'm never wrong, my robot, do you think my robot can ever help people if my knowledge is that it will always hurt people?
If your knowledge is, that it will always hurt people, always, that's the keyword, always,
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter in this instance.
then
Because it, I mean, we can complicate things if you want, but I just want to walk you through
no,
what I
I
believe,
just
right?
like
So
being more
if
specific.
because even let's just say that I have perfect knowledge and I know that every other day it helps people and then it hurts people and then it helps people and then it hurts people, right? Then still that will always be the case, right? My robot still cannot do anything other than that.
Yeah.
So, but let's just take one choice that my robot will always make. That way I can make this simple. So,
Okay.
if I have perfect knowledge and my knowledge is that it will always hurt people, will it ever do anything other than that?
No.
No. So does my robot have free will if I have this foreknowledge and I create it?
Well, if you created this robot to always hurt people, then
Okay, I'm not asking you what my intention is. I'm asking you if my robot has free will.
mm,
Because can my robot choose something that I don't have knowledge of?
okay, hold on. To help me understand this, and I yes, I do want to ask.
Uh huh.
When you created this robot, you gave it free will?
If free will is the ability to choose, I can give it a choice,
Okay.
but I know what its choices are and then I create it. So if I know that its choice will always be to hurt people and I
But you
set
gave
it
it free
out
will,
into
right?
the world, right? Then its
Okay.
choices are just inevitable and it can't choose to do anything other than that, right? In fact, now what we're talking about is destiny because now my robot is destined to always hurt people.
Mm.
And can we have free will if we are destined to act?
Can we have free will if we were meant to act this way?
Mm-hmm.
Depends.
Okay.
I guess. Depends, right?
Well, here's another way to look at it. If I know, right, remember, I have perfect knowledge.
Yeah.
If
I
I
have a
know
question.
that, yeah, go ahead.
Instead of using robots, can you just say God? Because helps me. It'll just help me answer these
Sure,
questions. When you start saying
sure,
robots and all this and that, I get confused.
sure. Now we're only talking about one action, right? Let's just say God's perfect knowledge is that uh this guy uh will murder, right?
Okay, but
Now if God has this perfect knowledge that Schindler will murder, can he do anything other than that?
Hitler or God?
Who are we talking? Can Schindler do that?
Can Hitler do anything but schmurder?
Right? You want to change it to God. So this is God's knowledge, right? This is God's perfect with the P. Perfect knowledge. God's perfect knowledge is that Schindler will murder.
Okay, okay. You know what? We'll go with that. So God created humanity. Hitler was, at a time, a historic leader, and he caused a massacre.
What's my question?
Can Hitler do anything else?
Yeah. Can he do otherwise?
Yeah.
Okay. And if he does otherwise, will God's knowledge be correct or incorrect?
It'll still be correct.
Okay. Then you're just erasing what we've already gone through, right?
Nah, be well. Okay,
So
look.
if God's knowledge is that Schindler will murder, and
Yeah.
let's say he doesn't murder, is
Okay.
God's perfect knowledge correct or incorrect?
Well, in that scenario, it'd be incorrect. But when you
Yeah,
say,
duh, right? I mean, come on.
yeah,
Okay,
but
look,
when you
look,
say,
it's getting more frustrated because now we're going back to square one, okay? Let's
well,
let's
hold on,
let's
hold
try
on.
not to backtrack from what we already talked about.
Okay, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
When you say, can you do anything? Can you do something else? Like
Mhm.
when you say that, do you mean like can he not schmurder or like he'll be a schmurder, but he'll
If
also do this and
if
that?
Schindler knows what if God knows what he will do when Schindler's presented with this choice to either murder or not to murder, what will
Okay.
Schindler do?
More than likely he'll schmurder.
No, not more than likely. If God's knowledge is perfect, he will do that thing, right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm not talking about all of the choices that Schindler has. I'm talking about one, just one choice, bro, right?
Okay.
But God has knowledge of every single choice. So if
Got
one
you.
day Schindler chooses to murder and the next day he chooses not to, God knows
Okay.
all of that, right? But
Yeah.
let's just talk about one decision at a time.
One action or one decision?
One decision. One
Okay.
decision that leads to an action.
Got you. So
Okay?
that means
So
this.
Schindler will murder is God's perfect knowledge. If
Okay.
Schindler does not murder, will God's knowledge be correct?
Okay, in this scenario, no.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm going with this.
God's knowledge is wrong if Schindler doesn't kill. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, if God creates Schindler knowing that he will murder and then creates him anyways, he can't Schindler can't do anything other than this. He will only do what God knows. And so that makes this action inevitable.
Repeat that one more time and slow it down,
So if
please.
God knows that Schindler will murder and creates him, then
Okay.
the action of murder is inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what
Okay.
because God's knowledge is perfect.
Okay.
So now we're talking about things called destiny and predestination, right? So
Okay.
so like a mat have you did you ever have like one of those little wind up toys as a kid?
Like the Jack in the
You know,
Box?
you like wind it up and then you like set it down on a table and like it goes, right? It starts moving.
Like a Jack in the Box or the cars?
Like a little car, sure. Right? You
Okay.
you you like take your car and you like back it up and then you like let it go and it goes crazy, right?
All right.
Okay. So the car is Schindler right? And God knows that if he winds it up, if he creates it, then it's going to go, right? It's going to go and murder.
Okay.
And so by God doing this action, then that car is going to go, right? It's inevitably going to move. And that same thing is true here. Schindler will schmurder, and his actions are inevitable now. So if God knows that Schindler will murder, he actually doesn't have another choice anymore. He has to do this thing, or God's knowledge is wrong and it's no longer perfect. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand where you're coming from. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Okay. Do I agree with you? No.
Okay. Well, if we're talking about foreknowledge and creation, this is the case. There is no alternatives if God knows everything and creates everything.
But you gotta understand that during the time Hitler was alive, that he had the free will to choose,
No, he didn't.
what he wanted to do.
No, he didn't. He could only do what God knew he would do. Because if he did otherwise, God's knowledge would be wrong.
But the thing is like you taking something that's already happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yet that applies to you, that applies to me, and that applies to every part of creation.
What are you trying to say? So if I get up and get a drink of water right now, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, God made me do it." Is that like how
Yeah.
you think? That's how you think about like Christians
What
think or something?
if God is all knowing and creates everything, that would be the case. Every decision that you make, God knows.
I
Every
mean,
single
I
one.
I would agree with
So
you
if
on
if
that,
you have this
but
path here, right? And you choose, let's say you want to go towards the good castle, right? And God knows that you're going to choose that, then you can never choose the bad castle. Even though to you it feels like you're standing between this path, right? Like you can choose this or that at any time. Your fate is already sealed. Your decisions are already made beforehand. And so, although it feels like you have these two choices, you only have one. You can only choose this one if God is all knowing and creates everything.
so okay, so I hear what you're saying, right? I get it. I get it. Uh, what is your belief in this?
I just explained it, bro. I don't think that we have free will if God is all knowing and creates everything. But I don't believe in God.
You don't believe in God. Do you
No.
believe there is a God?
No. I I don't know if there's a God out there. That's why I would say I'm an agnostic, but certainly the Abrahamic God does not exist. So that's like the God of
Yeah.
Judaism, Islam, Christianity, right?
So you read scripture.
Yeah.
You've read scripture. Have you ever been in any religion growing up?
Yeah, I was raised as a Christian.
It was raised. Oh, so what
Mhm.
made you leave Christianity?
Well, this is one of the things that made me leave, but there's like many things.
So okay.
Just
So
like you
because
probably have like many reasons why you love your parents, right? It's more than just one
sure
thing. Yeah.
that's the main reason. I guess that has to be the main thing is that you believe
Let's
that we don't have free will.
no, the free will doesn't bother me as much as the fact that God is responsible for all of the evil in existence, right? Like if God is responsible for it all because he creates it and he knew exactly what would happen and he like sets it out there anyways, then God
But
is
God is all.
creating grapists, right? He's creating
But
grapists, and
God is all good, though.
he's putting them out into the world. Well, God can't be all good if God is creating grapists knowing that they're going to grape. That's not a good thing to do.
And I think if you read the scripture,
I
you
have.
would. It says God is all good, so
Uh-huh. I think that's false.
he thinks fall.
Yeah,
See,
I think that people in the Bible say that God is good. Even you can say God is good, right? But I
okay.
but it's important that if you're just saying it for the sake of saying it and you're ignoring the rest of these things, then you're just not being honest, right? You're not being honest with yourself, you're not being honest with me. But if
So
you can acknowledge that God is responsible for all of the evil in existence and still believe that he's good, well then I have to ask you, how is that the case, right? Because those things are
well,
contradictory.
but it's crazy because you telling me, oh, God created, grapists and he created all that,
He did.
so from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you think God made this person to be this way. So I'm gonna make
Mm-hmm.
you a rapist. I'm gonna make you a murderer. This and that. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you think.
Well, that's what happened
My bad.
because
That's what you believe in.
God knows what they're going to do and he creates them anyways. Right? Like God knows what Schindler's going to do and he creates them anyways, right? Is that correct or is that wrong?
I mean, in the way you're putting it, it's like it's
But
that's not how it is.
what's wrong about what I just said? Does God create Schindler?
He created him
Okay. And did God know what he was going to do?
in a sense. Yeah, he knew. Yeah, he knew.
No,
He
not
knows
in a
everything.
sense. Did he know?
He knows he knows
Yeah.
everything.
So then
Okay,
what I said was not wrong, bruh. You just look,
but
bro, I get it.
but,
It makes you uncomfortable. You don't like it, but it is
but
true that God created Schindler
but that's the thing.
and
It's
knew what
like
he was going to do.
because so you're telling me because God knows everything and knows what everybody's gonna do,
Hmm.
that's not free will,
Yeah,
and that's where that's where I would have to disagree because
that's fine. You can still believe in free will and yet say that God's responsible for all of the evil because, well, here's the question. Does God have free will? Can God do whatever he wants?
I believe so. Yeah, God could do
Okay.
whatever.
So God wanted to create grapists and Schindler. And he created them knowing exactly what they would do, and he created them anyways.
Nah, dude. You can't just put it like that though,
But
because
that's true.
but that's not like you can't just do that though. Like
But it's
the
true.
way you, nah, but the way you wording it is just like all wrong. Like I think you
But it's not
just
wrong. What part of what I said is wrong?
that God created, grapists and this and that. Like
Did God create them?
you think, well, this question right here. I want to ask you a specific. I want to break it down in a specific question so I can understand because
This is it, bro. Like I
no,
can't make it any simpler than the fact
okay.
that
So
God creates grapists.
well, I could
He
say God
he
created
he
humanity.
knew he knew what they were going to do, and he set them out into the world anyways,
Let me tell you this: God created humanity, but I don't.
including
God,
grapists.
okay, yeah. Humanity is
Uh huh.
every human, every human.
Including grapists. Uh huh.
Okay, sure, including scholars, including
Uh huh.
straight A students, including
Sure.
doctors,
Sure.
including you, including
But
me.
rat, you and I don't have a problem with the scholars, right? I don't have any issue saying that God created the scholars and the doctors and all the good people, but you have an issue with acknowledging that God created the bad. So instead of talking about the things that we agree upon, let's talk about the things that we disagree upon the things that you're not acknowledging, which is the grapus.
Yeah.
So God creates the grapus. Go ahead.
He doesn't create them; they do it on their own.
And who
God's all
creates them?
good. God created humanity,
And who's in humanity? Is it grapus?
humans.
Are grapus a part of humans?
Our great piece of part, animals do it too.
Uh-huh. Are grapus though?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So does God create grapus?
No,
Okay, who creates them?
they do it themselves.
Oh, okay. So people can create themselves now?
I never said they can create themselves. That
Okay, so who created them?
okay, but that's the
Like
thing.
New York, you understand. I'm just gonna let you know, right? Like we've had a very nice
What?
conversation, and I appreciate your
Yes.
time. But right now, you're not being honest with me, and I'm not gonna move on
No.
to something else until you say it, right? Like this is
Okay, but
ridiculous at this point, bro. You
you're
know that.
taking you're taking rapist as a
Hmm.
title and you're attaching it to like, oh, you're no longer a human. You're only great. Like you, I could
Sure,
say
yeah,
you're.
they could be human grapists, and yet they're still grapists,
Okay. He created
right?
humanity. He created humans.
That's not my problem though. Did God create grapists? Yes or no?
Like intentionally.
Well, everything that God created is intentional. Or did God create people by accident?
No, no. But
Okay, so then he created it intentionally. Did
but
God
if you
create grapists?
and did I don't. But that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it sounds like you thinking he created them intentionally. Like
Of
I'm
course
gonna
he
make.
did.
Well, then I
Because
would tell you no.
does God
Then I would
create
tell you
by
no.
mistake?
No, but I would
Okay.
still.
Then he
But
created
still, no,
intentionally.
no, 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 no.
Okay, let's go back to the robot real quick. If I create a robot and I give it choices, but I know that it's going to go and slaughter your whole family, did I create it intentionally to slaughter your whole family?
No.
Okay. So, do my intentions and my actions align with one another?
Can your action would be creating the robot?
Uh-huh, to go out and slaughter your whole family. Are my intentions and my actions in alignment? Are they the same?
Well, if you created the robot to do that, then yeah, your intentions would yes.
That's
But
not what
that's
I'm saying.
all right. Well,
Do I need to pull up the notepad pad again? Because
I,
you know what
I,
I'm saying, and now I have to break it down again. Come
I
on,
know,
bro.
but no, but that's the thing is like
Okay, my intention is that my robot would be good, and my actions are creating a robot to slaughter New York Rats family. Are my intentions and my actions the same?
mm,
Bye, Keish. Good night.
good night, Keish.
You don't get to
Um,
say goodbye. You're being
what?
dishonest right now.
I can't be a
Answer my
good person.
question.
I'm just trying to be.
Answer my damn question.
All right, no, these are two different. These are two different. These are
Yeah,
different.
obviously. Damn. I wish I had a comb. I would pop you in the back of the head. You out here being stubborn.
Ah,
I
I'm
know
just
you got popped too. Okay.
well.
So my actions and my intentions are not the same, right? Clearly. Okay?
Those are different on the screen.
But
Yes.
but sure, my intentions can be good. And if my intentions are to create a robot that would be good, would my actions be this way?
Okay.
Yes
Do
or
you,
no? If my intentions are to make a robot that's good, would I take these actions?
would you take those actions? Oh no, no, no.
Yeah, obviously, right? So if God's intention for humanity is that we would be good, his actions
Okay.
of creating grapists negate that
Okay.
because his intentions
No.
and his actions aren't the same.
Okay, I like that. Can you bring up the notepad again, and then can for intention, and then I want to I just want to see where this will work with you. So intention instead of be good, can we change that?
To what?
Free will.
Sure. Except for we don't have free will. And if the
You don't.
intention is for
Well,
us to
okay,
have free will, what does God want us to do with this free
but
will?
but listen,
What does God want us to do with our free will?
listen to him.
Listen. Okay. So our intention, so God's intention is that we would use our free will
Free
to
will.
listen to
Free
him,
will. Okay, yeah, sure.
right? So God's intention is that we would listen to him. And yet his actions is that he's creating grapists.
No, no. Let me. Okay, let me. Let me.
Is God's intention and his
Can I like?
actions the same?
Oh my gosh.
I'm just letting you know. I'm
No,
gonna be more like of a hard ass with you right now because we've been
no,
chatting for
but
like 45 minutes now,
I
and I'm
understand.
just letting you know that you're not being honest with me.
I'm
So
trying
are
to, but
God's
you
intentions
give me
and his actions the same?
these questions you give me though. They're like very like I want you to understand from my perspective. So I'm
I
at like that's why
understand
I
your
asked you.
perspective. You would rather take away God's actions
Hold
and
on. No,
just
no,
give
no, no,
him
no, no,
credit for his intentions.
no, no,
But
no.
I don't
Like
give a fuck about his intentions
I
because
know you don't.
his
I
actions are
know.
the things that make him
No.
responsible for
Oh,
all of the evil in existence.
please listen. I know.
So, do God's intentions and his actions align?
In this scenario, because you wrote it this way, which I didn't want you to write this way, I would say,
What am I
these don't
missing?
align. Okay, instead of creating rapists for actions, can you please
Nope.
type?
He did create grapists though.
Okay, but let's break this down. We're gonna put three prompts.
I don't
Just so
I don't need I listen. I don't need to break it down anymore when my point to you to recognize is that God creates grapists.
I
But
from
you
how
don't
you
but your rebuttal to me is well God's intentions is that we wouldn't grape. And yet God's intentions and his actions of creating grapists, do they align? Yes or no?
in this scenario that you wrote in, no,
Mhm.
they don't.
Mhm.
But I'm asking
And
you,
so does if God
I'm
is
asking.
creating in this way, then does God make mistakes?
No, he doesn't. But
No. Okay, so then his intentions always align with his actions. And his
but
action is to create grapists. Therefore, his intention must be to create grapists.
okay, look, you know, yes, we've been, respectful so far, and I appreciate that. We're having this conversation, and I let you type these things and I answer you to the best of my ability. Okay. And I would really appreciate if you can just type this down for me so we could talk about it, just so you could see what I'm
Sure.
trying to
What you
say.
got?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So the intention, keep that. Listen to him. Actions, instead of creating grapists, I just want you to put, creating humanity with free will. And I know you don't
But
believe
that's
in
not my
I
listen.
know
New
you don't
York
believe
rat.
in
New
free
York
will.
rat.
I know you
Say
don't believe in that.
New York rat again. My contention is not that all of the good things in humanity exist, right? We already agree on that. The part that we don't agree on is the bad things.
I
So
understand.
if you want me to change it from grapist, then you need to pick another bad thing that happens.
So you only going, but that's the thing. It's
I
like,
already acknowledge that God is responsible for all of the good. That's already off the table. Where we
but
disagree is that God's responsible for the bad.
I think, okay, but in the bigger picture, I think what we both disagree on is the free will because you don't believe God gave us free will. I believe God
Who
gave us free
cares?
will.
It doesn't matter here.
No, it
like
does
like
because
whether or not I believe in free will does not matter because these things are still true. You believe that God's intention is that we would listen to him. He gave us free will to listen to him. And yet
yes.
his actions are opposite of that.
No, because I don't agree that he created. I believe he
Okay. How
created
did the
free
grapists
will.
get here again?
They came here. They're humans. Humans.
Okay. And who created the humans? Duh.
God.
Yeah. Okay. So God created the humans grape. So God created the grapists. Got it.
Nah,
So
but that.
and did God know that they were going to be grapists?
But look, the
Did
way that
God
you putting
know
this,
that he was going to be that they were going to be grapists?
God knows everything.
So that's
God
a
knows
yes.
everything.
So God knew that he was creating grapists when he did it, and he put them out into the world anyways. So God creates
You,
grapists,
I
and
think the
yet his
way you prompt
intention is
this,
to listen to him.
I think it's the way that you prompt this is just like it's like if I give you an example, it's like blank is this person is smelly, and so that means all everybody here is smelly. Mr.
No.
Sandeep, Mr.
Do
Sandeep is
you think
smelly.
I believe that all people are grapists?
You believe that God created rapists?
Yeah. Do you think I believe that all people are grapists?
I don't think you would.
Yeah, that
I
would
don't.
be stupid, right? Of course I don't. I'm not a grapist. Are you a grapist?
Nah.
Great. So then there's at least two of us, right? So I'm not saying that God only creates grapists. I'm not saying that all people are grapists. And yet, let's say that there's only one grapist in existence, God would have still created him. Okay? So it doesn't matter how many of them exist, how often they grape. Once you grape, you are a grapist. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I agree with that.
Okay. So if you grape, you're a grapist, and God created them. So his actions and his intentions here don't align.
But that
And yet
doesn't.
he's still responsible for the things that he chooses to do. He's responsible
But
for his actions.
it's just the way you're wording it. It's like if I say, this ice melted and now it's water. Is it still ice?
How is that? How does
Like,
that relate at all? Like in your brain, how do you think that
it's just the
relates?
it's just the questions that you're giving me is like, like.
I know you don't like them, but I don't care.
Then
I
again,
don't
I
I
also
don't I don't care. I don't care if you like these questions, right? Like I don't care if it makes you feel comfortable.
I think you could
I don't
word
care
these
about
questions
that
better. I know. I think
because
you can ask these
because
questions better.
no, I don't think that I can. And you know why? Because these questions do make you feel uncomfortable and they make you think about the world and the reality that you believe. Right? You believe that God creates everything and knows what everything does. But I can guarantee you that you've never thought about God creating rapists before, which is why you're having such a hard time with it.
I
And
mean,
yet, and yet, it is still true that God does create rapists. Just
then
like
God,
God created your mom and your dad and your siblings, if you have any, all the people that you love, God created all of them too, and knew that your mom, I don't even know if you like your mom, but knew that your mom was going to be a great mother to you, right?
yeah,
It's
but
going to,
the big difference here is that I believe we have free will from
uh
God.
huh.
You don't.
That doesn't negate any of this though.
Yeah, it does because
If they're free, if there is free will, it doesn't change the fact that God still creates rapists.
well, that's where our differences. We don't even see eye to eye from there. So it's like I don't think there's any way. You know, when I tell you that God is all good and it's
Then we're
not
just
evil,
going back to this, bro.
I
We're
don't
just
know.
going back to this, and we already went over this.
I this there's an easier way for me to break it down. I don't think I'll be able to break it down for you right now.
All right,
But
man.
I
I'll
would
see you
definitely like
later
to have
then.
another. I would like to have another conversation though with you later.
I'm
Like
live
maybe
every
one day.
Wednesday, every Sunday.
All right, it's cool.
Later.